Once you step outside of the tourist zone, English drops off quick building. No land ownership is allowed. Same standard globally recognized, but at a fraction of the cost. You'll be stuck with 30 years of lease and you'll need to renew. Short-term rental under 30 days are basically illegal. 2 countries, 2 lifestyle, and 1 big decision. If you're someone looking to retire in Southeast Asia or looking to invest here, you have probably asked yourself, should I live or invest in Thailand or Malaysia? On the surface, both looks amazing. Beautiful beaches, affordable living, amazing food. But here's the truth, if you dig deeper, the differences are huge. Hi everyone, this is Ray. Welcome back to another episode of the Property Market Review series. So today, we're gonna zoom out a little bit. Instead of just looking into Malaysia alone, we will compare the property market and expect lifestyle in Southeast Asia's 2 biggest hotspots, Malaysia and Thailand. So on the Malaysia side, we have got the big 3. We have got Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Johor Bahru. And in Thailand, we're looking into Bangkok, Phuket, and Chiang Mai. So these are 6 cities most expect think about when planning their move. So let's break it down. So whether you can actually own property in your own name, to how much you'll pay in hospital and medical care, to whether or not your kids get world-class education or not. These 2 countries play very different games. So today, let's break it all down. Let's start with lifestyle because at the end of the day, this isn't just about property or investment. It's about what your everyday life actually feels like. Now, imagine this. You land in Bangkok, the city hits you instantly. Golden temple growing at sunset, the smell of street food everywhere, tuk-tuk bustling, and nightlife that honestly never sleeps. It's chaos but in the best possible way. So if you love energy and excitement, Bangkok will never let you get bored. But let's be real, traffic is brutal and finding peace and quiet can be tough. Switch gear to Phuket and the vibe completely changes. Think beaches, yachts, luxury villas overlooking the beautiful ocean. It feels like one big holiday. But, and this is important, it's tourist driven. So high season it feels crowded and low season it can feel almost too quiet, like suddenly the party just ended. Chiang Mai flipped the script again, it's opposite of Bangkok. Slower pace, cooler weather, mountains everywhere. Instead of clubs, you've got yoga retreats, meditation centers and cafes. So if you want that live well, stress-free vibe, Chiang Mai is the spot. Now let's talk Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur or KL. It's Southeast Asia easy mode. Modern, organized, great infrastructures. You've got shiny skyscrapers, MRT system that actually works, rooftop bars, Michelin star dining, and here's the kicker. Almost everyone speaks English and Mandarin is widely spoken as well, and you get a city lifestyle without the intensity of Bangkok. Penang, on the other hand, is where culture meets comfort. Georgetown with its colonial street, cafes, and food that's definitely world class. The place here is slower than KL in a good way. It's more walkable, more relaxed. That is also why a lot of retirees and families choose Penang. And then there's Johor Bahru or JB, and this one is interesting. It's literally right across a causeway from Singapore, but the cost of living is a fraction of it. JB is bustling with new malls, some international school and tech park. So JB is currently on a hype because of the upcoming RTS that will make traveling from Singapore to JB much easier. So to sum it all up, Thailand is your holiday mood. It's filled with energy, fun, and also adventures. And Malaysia is your long-term mode. It's more stable, comfort, and lifestyle that actually works year after year. Which one to choose? So that depends on whether you want life to feel like a constant vacation or like a home you can actually settle down into. So now let's look into the part some of you may want to know, the cost of living. Because whether you are moving for work, for retirement, or just chasing a new lifestyle, the monthly bills always matters. So let's start with Bangkok. If you want to live comfortably in the city center, you are looking at around $1,500 to $2,000 every month. A 1-bedroom unit in a hotspot in Bangkok will cost you around $800 to $1,500 on rent alone. Not crazy compared to New York or in Sydney, but still Bangkok isn't the budget backpacker town it used to be. Phuket is gorgeous, but because it's so tourist driven, so price jump. you're looking at 1,600 to 2.2k USD every month for a similar lifestyle. So you're paying a premium for a sea view and those endless beach club. So Chiang Mai is the cheapest of all three. It's where digital nomads stretch their dollars. So around 1,000 to 1,003 USD per month gives you a very nice condo here with daily cafe hopping and maybe a weekly massage. So the trade-off, it's slower in pace and smaller city feel. Now let's flip to Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur is honestly one of the best value for money cities in Asia right now. For 1,002 to 1,005 USD a month, you can live really well. A luxury 2-bedroom condo with a pool, a gym and security might cost you only around 600 to 800 USD a month, and that's half of what you'd pay in the central of Bangkok. Penang is cheaper still, around USD 1,000 to 1,003 every month, gives you a beach view condo, some of the best food in the world at your doorstep. So for Johor Bahru, it's just right across Singapore and it's about the same range, maybe a little bit higher as you get closer to the causeway. It's convenient for those who want to travel to Singapore more often. So living in JB is more convenient for those who want to travel to Singapore more often. So the big picture, Malaysia comes in as 15 to 25% cheaper as compared to Thailand for the same quality of life. And for housing, Kuala Lumpur gives you roughly double the space for the same money compared to Bangkok. So that is why many expats who come for Thailand's excitement eventually look at Malaysia when they're ready to settle down. So now let's look into healthcare, one of the most important things for retirees and also long-term expats. So if you're familiar with Bangkok, you would know Bumrungrad and also Summertivich. They are basically 5-star hotels that happens to be hospitals. The care is world-class, English is spoken, and people fly in from across Asia, Middle East, and even the States for treatment. But a specialist visit here is usually around 35 to 70 US dollar. If you want decent expat health insurance, expect it to be around 80 to 120 USD per month. Now Malaysia, here's where it gets interesting. Hospitals like the Gleneagles, Pantai Hospital, KPJ Specialist, and also the Island Hospital in Penang are all internationally accredited and many by JCI, the exact same body that certifies top hospital in the US. And Malaysia is consistently ranked among the top medical tourism hub globally, right there with Thailand and Singapore. And the difference? It's cheaper. A specialist visit in Malaysia runs around $25 to $65 and insurance starts just around 40 to 90 USD per month. And that's nearly half the cost of Thailand for the same standard of care. And here's the game changer, the waiting time. In Malaysia, you can often book and see a specialist on the same day, get your MRI and blood work within hours, and walk out with results. In many Western countries, it could take up to weeks or even months. So if healthcare is a top priority, and let's be real, for long-term living, Malaysia beats Thailand heads down. Same standard, globally recognized, but at a fraction of the cost. So let's talk about something that doesn't always show up in brochure, but makes a massive difference when you actually live somewhere. In Thailand, the official language is Thai. Beautiful language, but tough to learn if you are starting from zero. In Bangkok, Phuket and Chiang Mai, you will see service staff, doctors and younger people who speak some English, but once you step outside of the tourist zone, English drops off quickly. And if you are trying to deal with utilities, local governments, or even negotiating a lease, you will probably hit the language wall. For short holiday, it's fine. For long-term living, it can feel isolating. Malaysia is a different story. English is widely spoken, especially in Kuala Lumpur, Penang and Johor Bahru. In fact, Malaysia consistently ranks as one of the top English-spoken countries in Asia. On top of that, you also hear Mandarin, Cantonese everywhere because of the large Chinese community plus Malay and Tamil. It's truly multilingual. That means for an expat, whether you are shopping, visiting a clinic, or sending your kids to school, communication is almost seamless. That makes daily life easier. You want to see a doctor, they will speak English. Want to negotiate with the landlord, most will communicate in English. And even road signs, government website, and banking apps are in English. So from a lifestyle perspective, Thailand can feel exotic, but language is a barrier. Malaysia feels more familiar, easier, and much more welcoming if you don't want to learn a new language just to buy groceries. So if you have kids, schools are probably at the top of your list. In Thailand, especially Bangkok, the international schools are world class. We're talking big names like the NIST, ISB, and Strawberry with top facilities, strong academics, and global recognition. But here's the catch, the tuition fee isn't cheap. You're looking at 15 to 25,000 USD per child per year. Great quality, but definitely a premium price tag. Now let's compare that to Malaysia. In Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Johor Bahru, you also find excellent international schools with British, American, IB, even Australian curriculum. Schools like the Gardens International School, Alice Smith, Marlborough College, Malaysia. But here's the difference. The fee are usually 8,000 to 15,000 USD annually. That's almost half the cost of Bangkok for the same global standard education. And it's not just schools. For higher education, Malaysia really shines. University of Malaya, right in Kuala Lumpur, ranks 65 in the world. That's higher than any Thai university, and it attracts international students from all over Asia. So if you're a family planning the long game, schools, affordability, and university prospects, Malaysia gives you more options at a much friendlier cost. Now let's talk about the big one, property. In Thailand, foreigners face some pretty strict rules. Yes, you can own a freehold condo here, but only up to 49% of the building. No land ownership is allowed at all. So if you want a villa with land, you'll be stuck with 30 years of lease and you'll need to renew. So some may feel insecure about this. And on top of that, some condos are sold to foreigners at 10 to 20% higher prices compared to locals, which hurts both your rental yield and your resale value. When it comes to pricing, in Bangkok, a mid-range condo goes for around 250 to 350 US dollar per square feet. Head down to the central of Phuket, it could be even pricier at 280 to 400 USD per square feet. And if you're thinking Airbnb income, here's the kicker. Short-term rental under 30 days are basically illegal unless the property is licensed as a hotel. That makes investing tricky. Now flip to Malaysia. The difference is huge. Foreigners can buy freehold condos and in some states even landed houses as long as you meet the minimum price of around 1 million Malaysia ringgit, which is about 210k USD in Kuala Lumpur. But the minimum varies by state. If you want a full breakdown of the state-by-state foreign purchase minimum in states like Penang, Johor Bahru, and Selangor, you can check out the link in the description below. And of course, most importantly, in Malaysia as compared to Thailand, you get the title in your own name, not a lease. So let me share with you an apple-to-apple comparison between Thailand and Malaysia property. So let's take one of the most luxurious and expensive condo in each country. Same global standard and same branded residence styles, so it's a fair comparison. In Bangkok, the four-season private residences go for around 1.52 million USD for a 1,259 square feet condo. That works out to around 1,200 USD per square feet. In Kuala Lumpur, the four-season residence, same brand, same 5-star positioning, costs around 936,000 USD for a 1399 square feet unit. That's about 669 per square feet in USD. And we are talking about the same luxury name, both sitting next to their country's most iconic landmarks, like the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok and the Petronas Twin Tower in KL. But the price per square foot in KL is almost half of that in Bangkok. Now look at Penang and JB, which are some of Malaysia's most expensive addresses. Penang's Lumina residence is going for around 228,000 US dollar for 1,216 square foot. That's just around 187 USD per square feet. And in Johor Bahru, the Astaka, which is one of the most expensive condo there, is going for 564,000 US dollar for a massive 2,217 square feet unit, which is about 254 USD per square feet. And remember, JB is literally 20 minutes from Singapore, where condo goes for around 2,000 USD per square feet. And unlike Thailand, Airbnb is allowed in urban zones like KLCC, Mont Kiara. That makes rental income far easier. So here's a reality check. With the money you had spent on a small condo in Bangkok, you could buy almost double the space in KL and actually own it freehold in your name. For long-term investors, that's definitely a game changer. Now, let's talk about visas, because owning property is one thing, but actually being able to live in a country long-term is just as important. In Thailand, yes, there are retirement visas, but the rules change often. You need to park large deposit in Thai banks, buy health insurance, and deal with yearly renewals. And if you're under retirement age, you are looking at work visas, education visas, or costly elite visas. None of this gives you real sense of permanence. Now compare that with Malaysia. The Malaysia My Second Home program, MM2H, gives you a proper 5 to 10 years residency visa if you meet the requirements. It covers your spouse and kids. It's renewable and it's recognized globally as one of the most expat-friendly residency programs in Asia. That means you can actually build a stable life here, buy a freehold home in your own name, and send your kids to international schools and retire without worrying about sudden policy change. For retirees and families, that stability is a huge deal. Malaysia feels more predictable, more secure, and far easier to plan around. If you want me to do a full deep dive into how MM2H works, the income criteria, deposit requirements, and the exact step-by-step process, check out the link in the description below. So here's the big question. Is it Thailand or Malaysia? So if you're chasing short-term excitement, golden temples, island beaches, wild nightlife, Thailand is hard to beat. But if you're thinking long-term, property you can actually own, international healthcare at lower cost, a stable visa, and a lifestyle that's easier for families, Malaysia pulls ahead. To put it simple, Thailand feels like a holiday, Malaysia feels like a home. And if you want me to do a deeper dive into the property markets on whether or not it's KLCC, Penang, or Johor Bahru, let me know in the comment below and I'll make it happen. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It shows me that this video matters and motivate me to create more contents like this. Until we meet again, ciao.